To all of the mothers out there. I know we have a few that watch this channel, so happy Mother's Day to you guys. Let's see, we got Josh Leach, Bill Saflarski, Clarence Dobson, Mike from Lake Ontario Firewood, Robert Cox, Goobs. How's everybody doing? So today was a very, very, very busy day. Jeff Morgan is here. We left the house at, I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock this morning, somewhere around there. And we took off to do the Mother's Day thing. So we went to my wife's favorite greenhouse, picked out a bunch of flowers, did a bunch of Mother's Day stuff. Tried to spend some time and appreciate her for all her hard work that she does taking care of myself and the children. Because she says raising me is kind of like raising a fifth child, so lucky like that, I guess. Robert Daigle, Jason Lee, good evening, guys. Brandon Hode, Carl Lewis, and Lager Jason. So we went and got flowers. You're going to see a new video uploaded when we get done this live stream here. We ran the Cord King Enduro Blocker for the very first time tonight. My wife is the very first woman to run the Cord King Enduro Blocker, and she doesn't run much equipment either, so it goes to show it's a fairly simple machine, easy to run. So she was having fun with that. We went out, we ran one big log through it just so that we could try it, see how it goes, and take care of all of that. So there'll be a video up on that. I think that Enduro Blocker is definitely going to have a place in some firewood yards for sure. It's just going to depend on your yard and the way you do things. Jason Lee, Bud Cantor, Robert Cunningham, Sherry Miller, K-Train, Kevin Violet, Dennis Rexford. Good evening, guys. So we, Speedy, how we doing? So we went to a place called Red's Eats in Wiscasset, Maine. My wife likes to go there, and man, oh man, if you've never been there, it's a really good way to kill 2 or 3 hours worth of time because the line is always really long, and there's no such thing as going fast through that line either. But we went down, we got our lobster roll and our scallops. We've had our fix for a while. Weather was absolutely gorgeous today. First really nice day we've had in a long time up here in Maine, so that was really, really good too. It was just a good day all around. And then we got to come home and she got to run the Cord King. So, I mean, that's the best Mother's Day ever. What more can you ask for with that? But she was a good sport. She came out and we had a good time. Dave Dunaway, how we doing? Arthur Bowers. Yeah, Brandon Hode, scallops are my favorite. I love their fried clams. They have the best fried clams around. I don't know what they do to them to get them the way that they are, but man, oh man, are they good. Mark Santola, how we doing? It's just, it was a good day all around. And it was a nice day to spend out of the wood yard and spending some time with my wife and Richard. So it was a good time. Dennis Rexford, you can't beat a good steak with a little bit of whiskey and some potatoes. Good stuff. Good times for sure. Jason, Yadkin Valley Outdoors, Dave Edwards, how we doing, guys? Cheers and happy Sunday. Happy Mother's Day again to all the mothers out there. I see some ladies commenting in the chat tonight. I know you guys watch. We appreciate all of you very, very much. So that's actually not whiskey. That's actually apple pie moonshine. But we won't tell anybody. So yeah, the Cord King Enduro Blocker, I think, is going to be a nice machine. The way my yard is set up, I was really hoping I was going to have my tractor back last week to make it easier to get to the logs. The logs are way too far away from where I'm pulling right now, so it makes it difficult. It takes longer to pull the log to the machine than it does for the machine to cut the log up and get rid of it. So, I don't know. So, next week is the Forestry Expo. Friday and Saturday, Bangor, Maine. The weather's looking decent for Friday. Saturday's looking okay. We were going to do a cookout Sunday. Right now, it's looking like over an inch of rain for Sunday. I don't know. We're gonna play it by ear. I don't want anybody to have to come up and stand in the pouring, soaking rain. And I don't know how many people are planning on coming. So if you're planning on coming up Sunday for my open wood yard, just shoot me an email, drop a comment down below in the live chat, something, just so I've got a way to know. I know Robert was planning on making a brisket, and if we're gonna have bad weather, I don't want to have him spend a whole day making a brisket when it's just gonna be my family and him that show up because it's pouring rain. So if you're planning on coming, or you know you're gonna come up, just shoot me a message, let me know, so that we can kind of plan ahead of time. But right now it's looking like weather dependent, because if we're gonna get that much rain, I don't know. I don't know. Len, Mercury Man, how you doing? Good to see you. So the Enduro Blocker has been run. We had a busy week last week with Firewood. We didn't finish 2 of the orders that we're working on. I've got another 1.5 of 14-inch wood that needs to go to a customer. And then I've got another 3 cords of 16-inch to go to another customer to finish those 2 orders off. And then we can get paid for those. I've got a 5-cord order, a 4-cord order, and 2 3-cord orders that we've got to try to get done before Thursday when we go to set up for the expo. So it's going to be a busy beginning of the week. The weather looks really good up until then, so the weather shouldn't be an issue. And I'm told I've got logs. I've got logs coming Tuesday, 4 loads. So we'll have 32 more cord delivered. And that'll give us something to do to stay busy for a little bit, like we don't need anything else to do anyways. Somebody just asked about a special edition Gramp sticks for Hope. So I think that's a fantastic idea, Ken. And what I'll do is I'll talk to Derek, and maybe we will do a Hope edition Gramp stick, and we will let the proceeds from all of those sticks go right to Hope, so that they can have some extra money and proceeds from that, because that's a charity. They're a non-profit. That would be an excellent, excellent thing to do. I like that idea very much. So I will definitely keep that in mind. I'll talk to Derek, and maybe we'll see if we can get a limited batch of like 25 or 30 of those, just for Hope. And right there, Mike, Lake Ontario Firewood, says he'd buy one. So looks like we'll have to do that. Ken came up with a good idea. So Logger Jason, are you looking for a tub grinder? Is that what you're looking for? So the Gramp sticks are made out of either poplar or oak, and they're either painted or stained, and they're engraved. They've got my slogan, "A little bit every day goes a long way," and then Gramp stick on one end and our logo in the middle. But if we're going to do Hope, then maybe we'll have a cancer ribbon in there somewhere for the cancer awareness, because that's what the Hope House is for. And Brandon, yes, we can get you one too. So we're starting Gramp stick collections. I guess the right number of Gramp sticks is more. Need to get rid of the tub and head to a smaller horizontal grinder. All right. I might have a lead for you on a couple up here, Jason. There's a couple of guys that are getting out of chipping and stuff up here. I don't know what they've got for machines, or if it's too big or too small, but I'll get some information for you and I'll let you know. It's a little bit of a hike to Maine, but it's a road trip for you. You can stop and say hi on your way, I guess. Ooh, Mike's got 10 loads coming next week. That's fantastic. I don't know, Ken. We'll have to do some research. Maybe we'll put cancer sucks on them or something like that. I don't know. But we'll figure out something that works, and we'll put something on there. Maybe we'll just put Hope, H-O-P-E. I don't know. But I think that's a great idea, and I think that's a good way for excuse me, for our group here and for the Woodhounds to donate back to a boat, back to that community. Ooh, Brandon's almost ready to start plowing. So it must be drying out pretty good. Yes, Barb may have a suggestion. So I think what I'll do is I'll talk to Ken Anderson from York Firewood, and I'll see what's going on. And there's Derek's stuff right there. So Derek, your ears must have been burning. That's why you got here. We were talking about possibly doing a special edition Gramp stick for Hope. That's the charity event in September, and letting the proceeds go from those limited edition Hope sticks to go right to the Hope Foundation for 2025. Maybe just put Hope 2025 on them and see, but I don't know. I'll talk to Ken Anderson and I'll see if there's something he wants to do, and then I'll be in touch and we can go from there. But I think it'd be a good way to give back to another great cause in the community, and another chance for everybody to collect another Gramp stick. So win-win, I guess. I'm thinking 25. I don't think we need to do any more than that. There's not a huge group that are there. And if we get rid of all 25, then that's great. That'd be $500 that we could give to Hope. I think it's just a good thing and a good gesture if we could do that. I don't think that that's too much to ask for, to sell 25 of those things, and it gives them a little extra money to put towards their till to help run their project and foundation there. So Derek, even though he doesn't travel, is having a pretty big impact on everything that's going through, because he's sending the Gramp sticks, the money's getting used and going to good causes. So even though he's not there, he's being represented too. So, you know, bravo and thank you very much, Derek. You put a ton of work into this stuff, and we appreciate you. You are awesome. Oh, Lake Ontario Firewood got a new 235 Husqvarna little saw. Nice little lemon saw, yard saw. No, Brandon, you're probably one of the ones that's going to have the hardest time to get there, because I know what it's like to try to find help to fill in on the farm. Nobody really wants to work that hard, and they never do it the way you would want it done if you were there anyway. So yeah, Ken, you're right. We could do a Gramp Stick Collectors Club. We could have different versions of Gramp Sticks come out, and we could have a Collectors Club, Collectors Edition. Maybe we do that at all the events. Maybe before we go to the events, we do a Hope stick, we do a Hoosier stick, we'll do a Bunyan stick, we'll, you know, and we'll put the dates for the year on it, and you can collect them as many as you want, I guess. You can have a collector's set, so I don't know. Brian, Shotliff Family Firewood, how we doing, buddy? Yep, there you go. Derek's put me to work. Send me a list, guys. You let me know what you want. Derek says he'll make it happen, so that's pretty cool. Daniel Atkins is going to play with some shortwood, 14 to 15 inch max. I did 3 cords of 14 inch. We got to do a cord and a half more. And then I just had a lady call today. She wants 6 cords of 12 inch. Now, here's a question for you guys, because you guys all do firewood too, most of you. How much do you charge for 12 inch firewood? How much more per cord do you charge for 12 inch firewood? I know what I charge. I charge $100 more a cord for 12 inch because it is a lot more work. So, Mike, we are sipping on some apple pie moonshine, the good stuff. And it's good stuff for sure. Very good stuff. Daniel Atkins doesn't do firewood. Firewood does him. It's a workout. I got to agree, Daniel. I still do firewood by hand. Firewood's a workout, but I enjoy the workout. I had somebody ask me the other day, how are you the size that you are with as much firewood as you do? It's one of those things. You handle it a little bit. You get to move it around a little bit. and then eventually you get to bring it to somebody else, and they get to handle it a little bit, move it around a little bit, and then they get to burn it too. So firewood gets touched a lot of times before it's all said and done. So the birch vertical should be finished this week, I'm hoping. I know the last I heard they were waiting on one more valve, I believe it was. But I will check with Bobby this week, see if we've got any update on that birch vertical, and hopefully maybe even get a video of it operating and running. And then we should be ready to roll with that. So birch vertical is coming soon. Allwood has another dealer in the United States now. So Reeves Timber is also going to be an Allwood dealer. So if you are closer to Reeves Timber than you are myself or Bobby, you can certainly look them up, and you can purchase your Allwood splitter from there as well. So Allwood is growing. They are growing, and rightfully so. They make a very, very nice splitter for sure. I'm hoping that when we go to Hope Yadkin, I will have at least my musclewood and conveyor, possibly a second splitter too, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, sounds about right, Logger Jason. Champion Firewood, good evening. Yep, will do, Mike. I will definitely, I'll let everybody know when the vertical is ready. The vertical is one that there are a lot of people that are interested in for sure. So as soon as that's ready, we'll try to get a video or something out so that everybody can see it and know what's going on. I think it's going to be a nice machine. I really do. If it's like anything else that Bobby builds, it's going to be overbuilt. So I don't think there'll be any harm in hurting it or anything like that. So you're bringing Britt's splitter to Hope. There you go. Hey, Ron Brooks, good evening. Glad to hear you're not having too bad of a day today. That's awesome, my friend. So we're just, we're chatting about Mother's Day and wishing happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that are out there. There's a few of them watching tonight. And then we also let everybody know that my wife, for Mother's Day, got to be the first woman to run the Cord King Enduro Blocker. And the video just got uploaded and posted not long ago. So when we get out of here, that video will be up. We ran one pine log through it just to try it, just to see what's going on. And I think that that's going to have a real good fit in people's wood yards. And I did talk to Cord King, and they can do bigger saws like this unit for the West Coast guys. So if you guys got 4-foot diameter wood and you want a blocking saw just to block your wood up, they can do something for you there too. He's willing to accommodate and build what people need. So if you guys on the West Coast have special needs and you want something, no problem at all. And yes, Carl Lewis, Bobby will modify and build whatever somebody wants. So if somebody wants something, if they've got the checkbook and they want to pay, Bobby is an excellent fabricator and does a fantastic job of making sure that everybody's checklist is finished. Wise Choice Firewood, how we doing, buddy? You're a little late. That's okay. Cheers to you anyway. We're here. So, yeah, Bobby, that's one of the things with Bobby. If you see something and you're like, well, I wish it was this way or I wish it was that way, no problem. It can be changed. And I've seen him do a lot of cool stuff. The resplit table added on to our machine, that was something that was added after the fact from when I had saw it. And you know what? That's a fantastic addition to my musclewood. Really, really, really cool. I enjoy that resplit table much more than I thought I would. Henry Danielson, good evening. No problem about being late. It's Mother's Day. We're all trying to make sure Mama's happy. So I get it and I understand. Yeah, Daniel Atkins, you guys are definitely special needs out there. That's for sure. Glowing Firewood just got done with church. So you didn't miss much. We were wishing everybody a happy Mother's Day and all of that stuff. So the 1 cord challenge video, I am hoping that we will have it out before we go to the Forestry Expo. I've been trying to get orders done. We were over 20 full cords last week delivered, and I've got another probably close to 20 this week. I've got to start separating out the right size wood for the 8-way wedge. And then once we get the 8-way wedge, we'll throw that on and we'll run 1 real fast cord, and we're gonna just let it rip and see what happens. I'm taking guesses right now. I have a pretty good feeling on what I think the cord is gonna be. Whoever gets the closest to the cord time without going over, we're gonna have it in a video. I'll ask for everybody's guesses, and in that video, whoever gets closest to the cord time without going over, I got a prize for you. So we'll have that in a video. That's probably going to be tomorrow. We'll give you an opportunity to go ahead and take your guess and see how everything's going there. So I think it's going to be quick. It won't be 1 second, Brandon. It'll be faster than that. But it's definitely going to be pretty cool. So Gramp can cut a cord of wood. If I'm stacking behind him, he can cut a cord of wood in 25 to 30 minutes, somewhere in there. We've had people time us, and we figured over 2 cord an hour for Gramp cutting and me stacking behind him. So he can move right along pretty short. And our cord challenge is for a full cord, not a face cord, a full cord, 4x4x8 of firewood, and it has to be all saleable size splits, so no big chunks of boiler wood or anything like that. So we're going to pick the perfect size rounds for our 8-way wedge, and we are going to let it run just as fast as we can run it. We're going to crank it up, get it to temperature, put the oil cooler on, and run it. So one of the things in the Cord King video, the saw, I have to look and see if there's a relief valve for the saw to increase the saw speed. It starts a little slow. I notice if you pull the handle hard, it does better to open the valve further. But I know that people are going to say it's slow. It is and it isn't. The log that we were cutting was 22.5-inch diameter. And then you know, it takes a little bit to cut it, that 404 harvester chain. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting. I want to run it some more. I want to talk to Dave from Cord King and see if we can do it a little bit more, and then go from there. Yep, Carl Lewis, you could make a video of how you want something made and either text it or send it to him and show him what you want, and he can let you know. If it's something that doesn't have to go to a hydraulic shop, I've got a couple other fabricators and stuff that could build something too. So depending on what it is, we can find somebody to make it for you. That's no problem. No, just one person loading. And I think what's going to happen is I'll probably load some. Kevin will probably load some, I think. I don't know. We're going to have to do a short test run and see if Kevin thinks he can keep up or if he wants me to feed it. The problem is Kevin's not as quick on the controls as I am sometimes, so I don't know. We're going to go back one way or the other, I guess. As far as bins or racks or stacks, I try not to do any. I try to sell all my wood green if possible. If I have to season it, I stack it because I think it dries faster. That's just me. I don't have the big windy wood yard like Chris does with full sun all the time, so just I do what I can. As far as green wood, what we're going to do in the new wood yard, we're going to have a bunker. So we're going to have the big concrete super blocks. We're going to stack them. They're going to be 8 to 10 feet tall. We are going to split with a conveyor right into the bin. And then we're going to scoop and load with the tractor into the dump trailer. The bin is going to have a hot top floor on it. So that's going to make firewood a whole lot faster for us. And on the days that there are no orders, we can simply just keep splitting ahead until we've got 200, 300 cord split ahead sitting on the ground on that hot top, I don't care. We'll just keep going. So got gravel quotes back. Got a second quote and a third quote. They're not bad. They're expensive, but it's kind of what I expected. So this week we should know for sure if the person that's interested in our house is able to purchase it. And if they are, then we'll move forward with that, and then we'll move forward with the gravel work. If not, we will list the house officially for sale, and I don't think it's going to take long to sell, but we'll get it listed and then go from there. So it's going to be busy. After the show here in Bangor, we're going to start packing to move to the new house. One of the animals has already gone to start to get readjusted. Our old cat, he headed over. He's getting acclimated to his new surroundings, and then after that, we'll start packing stuff up. And probably when the kids are done school, mid-June, somewhere in there, we'll go ahead and move and get over to the new place. And hopefully by then, whatever is going to be happening with the house will be in motion. We'll start all the gravel work at the new place, get the wood yard moved, and hopefully not skip too much of a beat at all. I have a temporary yard that I can do firewood in the meantime if I need to, so I've already made provisions for that. So it's going to be some shuffling and some juggling, but we're used to it. We can make it work, no problem. No, we're still doing bins and bunkers. If I had enough wind, I'd do a bin or a bunker, but I think we're just going to do a bin to split into so that we can scoop out of it. Yes, so I have a sign coming that's being made. If the first person that's interested in my house gets it, I do not have to move my firewood racks. They will stay here. And in lieu of keeping them here, I will give the people that are going to be buying the house some firewood every year for having the racks out front. So it's just one of those deals where you got to do what you got to do, Jason. You can't be worried about it. I know it's a lot of work, but it's a huge, huge blessing to my family what's going to happen. When we're all said and done, we should be 100% debt-free for everything. Student loans, vehicles, house, mortgage, all that stuff. Everything should be paid for, and we should have a little money left over. So it's a lot of work, but I'm willing to do the work. So it's just one of those deals where you do what you got to do, and I'm willing to do whatever I got to do because we've worked hard for a long time. This gives us a chance to, me at 40 years old, my wife just turning 40, so we're both 40 years old. At 40 years old, to be completely debt-free and starting over with two businesses that are doing really well right now, to be able to take our money, focus it in our businesses, and try to get everything separated and taken care of. So Josh, I thought about that credit score taking a ding with nothing on it. We'll keep some stuff on it, but it's probably going to be business related stuff. If it's not going to make me money, it won't be on my credit from here on out. If it's something that is a non-earning asset, it will not be on my credit. Non-earning assets do not have a place as far as I'm concerned. So whether it be vehicles, equipment, property, whatever that's tied to the two businesses, those are the things that we will have on our credit. No more stuff, depreciating vehicles that are just for personal use, your house, things like that. They don't earn you money. So if it's not earning money, it's not worth borrowing on. So if it's not going to make me money, I won't borrow to get it. Those will be the things that we're saved up for. So the big splitter from Allwood, we're thinking is probably going to be either released at, what's the show in New York? Boonville, or at Bunyan. There's some more big changes on it. So it's going to take a little more modification. The big changes are going to be awesome changes, but it's going to take some time to get it finished. So it's either going to be Boonville or Bunyan, but one of those two shows, it will be debuted. It's going to be a huge machine. It's not going to be a cheap splitter by any means, but you're probably looking somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 to 3 cord an hour with 2 operators out of that machine with no issue whatsoever. Self-contained with a conveyor. Both stations can be used at the same time. Just really, 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 you know, it's going to be a big, big machine. Yeah, Circle B, that's kind of the way I feel too. I always, if I had to guess, Brad, I'm thinking you're going to be in the 35 to 40 range with the diesel option. Gas, you'll probably be 30, 35. But I can't tell you what we're doing to it yet. But if it comes the way that they want to, it's definitely going to be well worth the price increase. So I'm just going to leave it at that for right now. But as soon as I'm given the go ahead, I will let you guys know what those changes are if they come to fruition. So gonna be a machine that will definitely turn heads. That's for sure. Yeah, solid block wall will hold moisture. I sell green wood and I don't plan on it sitting there to season. I want that solid block wall so I can push on it with the loader. What's going to happen is we are probably going to end up with like a 3-yard loader. A 3-yard loader, 2 scoops is 1 cord. 3 scoops is my cord and a half on the trailer, and then off you go. So the whole name of the game is make firewood and make it faster. Deliver firewood, deliver it faster. So the only way to do that is to be able to load it faster and to be able to have it sitting there to load. I can buy a 3-yard loader a whole lot cheaper than I can buy just about anything else around me, because we've got a lot of gravel companies, and when they retire their loaders, they basically give them away, and they're still in operating condition because by mining laws and rules and regulations up here, brakes, lights, all that stuff still have to work. So if they're retiring them, they're still operational. And when I can pick one of those up for $15,000 to $25,000 and still good working operating condition, that's definitely the way to go, and that's going to make firewood so much faster. So it's gonna be pretty cool. Quadman 808, how we doing? I saw Denny Hart come in there too. Basso Family Firewood, I saw you too. So the other thing you do when you do the concrete blocks is you leave the bottom, you leave a gap about 2 to 3 inches in between your bottom blocks, every other block, for a drain hole, and you taper everything to 1 corner. So when you do that, then you're all set. Brandon Hode, I will tell you right now, I will never, ever use a hay conveyor again for firewood. That was my first 2 conveyors that I had. And what a pain. Those crimped links that you use the pliers to crimp over, man, oh man, what a pain in the butt. Every single time that a little piece of wood got jammed, I'd be up there putting chain back together and jumping chain over sprockets. And man, oh man, what a pain. Holy cow, was that a pain. When I got my belt conveyor, I was like, holy cow, this is so easy. But it's just, I don't know. So Maynard DIY, I know Timber Cutter Patriot is coming. He's big on Facebook and TikTok. Alan Collier cuts big hardwood down in the southeast. He's coming up with his son Green Bean. I don't know if his wife is coming with him or not. Other than that, I haven't heard of too many people that are coming up to the main show. I'm going to be there, but I'm not a big name by any means. I don't know if Joe from Ohio Woodburner is coming up for the Yappa group or not. I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out when we get there, but I haven't seen or heard from many people at all that are coming up to the Bangor show. So the whole bin idea intrigues me, but it won't work in my area. Not for the rain and the snow and everything that we get up here. It would turn into a moldy, nasty mess, and it wouldn't work. I don't have the right area to do it. So for me, sell green, and then eventually kiln dried. But that's it. I have no intentions of selling a lot of seasoned wood other than our restaurant wood, and that stuff I stack, and we've got the greenhouse to put it up. So it's that's where we're going with that. I don't have any desire to be someone's bank, because that's what's happening for that's what's happening when you season firewood, especially if you're paying for your logs like I am. If I sit on 700 cords of wood, I'm sitting on $140,000 worth of cost before I sell anything, and I'm going to sit on it for 9 to 12 months. Nah, not a fan. Not a fan. Kiln dried, I can cut it, and 3 days later I can deliver it. I'm okay with that. That's a process. That's a system. We can make it work. So then we'll go for there. Craig. Yeah, Craig's Cord to Coles. How we doing, buddy? I thought I saw you pop in there. So there's been lots of chainsaw talk because of the fuel injected Husqvarna. You've got the 500i from Steel, but I still think, and Britt from Foothills Firewood did a video on it today, the Echo 620 dollar for dollar is the absolute best bang for your buck on the market. There's nobody that's going to convince me otherwise. With the prices of all the other saws and with what everything else is, no way. There is not a better deal on the market. I had a couple of guys buy them from saw suppliers, and they sent me messages, and they're like, "Holy smokes, that saw is great." And I'm like, "No, they're a really good saw." And the guy goes, "Yeah, I love that saw." He goes, "I don't pick up my steel anymore." And I said, "No," I said, it's definitely a really nice saw for sure. One guy liked it so well he bought a second one. He sold his steel that he had. I don't know what he had for steel. He said it was older, so it definitely wasn't a newer one. But he said for the price, he said, I can't afford to do anything any different. So if anybody's looking for saws, sawsupplier.com, you can use Willey 10, and then that'll get you 10% off and free shipping on both Husky and Echo saws. So if you want a Husqvarna, you can still get a Husqvarna and get your discount too. So Ken's Cuts, how we doing, buddy? Good to see you. Tom from Tom's Firewood, hello, good evening. PA Trapper got some more time on his 620 this weekend. He's loving his so far too. The 620 is really, really nice. There's nothing fancy on it. Kenny, Open Air Adventures, how we doing, my friend? So I'm hoping that we get a video of it running this week, Chuck. So I'm going to call Bobby the middle of the week or so, because I'd like to at least have a video of it when I go to the show up here in Bangor, because I've got a lot of people interested. So I'm hoping that this week we get that fired up and running. And if I get some video of that going, we will get you a video of it too, because I know you're one of the first ones on the list for it. And then we'll go from there. So I'm hoping this week, Chucky, but I don't know. I'm not flipping you guys off. I'm just scrolling through my comments here to make sure I didn't miss anything. So Northeast Forestry Expo, Friday and Saturday. Friday's weather looks fantastic. Saturday's weather, looks like it could be a little damp. Sunday, we were planning on doing open woodyard day here. Sunday looks like a washout, a bad washout. So we're going to play it by ear for a couple of days, see what the weather does. I may call Sunday's event off. I don't want to have a bunch of people standing out here in the pouring rain under a tent. We'll have an opportunity later on with Gramp's Wood Cupboard, Gramp's Woodshed, to spend some time together and do some more stuff, and we'll go from there. So, yeah, Ron, I'm glad to hear that you're going to go out and cut, buddy. Just take it easy and listen to your body, that's for sure. Yep, see, Craig, he was thinking the same way I was. Ron, I think you're a lot like all of us. You're a little bit stubborn, and you like to get things done. So take your time, listen to your body, and do what you can do. And remember, a little bit every day goes a long way. Yep, so I'll be at the show. So Friday and Saturday, both, I will be at the Typhoon booth. And I will spend some time at the Cord King booth as well. And I'm going to probably have the Allwood splitter there. I don't have any other splitters other than my muscle wood to bring with me. Everything that's being made as quick as we can make it is going back out the door and to a customer. So that's a great thing so far. So yeah, Typhoon, we have our new firewood processor that is built on a DOT approved log trailer that will be at the show. That thing is a game changer. So if you're looking for a mobile firewood processing operation where you don't have to make multiple trips, that Typhoon processor is a way to go for sure. We've got everything turned up and cranked up this time. So we're going to get some videos of that thing running at full speed and get it taken on video, because I know Phil from Woods Tree Farm, he had he had the RCA 500 and it wasn't turned up. So when he was running it, there's a delay on the second stage of the pump, and you can adjust that with a valve. And when they adjust that down, there's a pretty good delay before it pushes. We turn that all the way back, and with that all the way back, that RC 500, that'll boogie now. So we'll get that on video to show the true speed of what that machine can do, and then go from there. Well, that was kind of both ways, 902. We asked, or they asked, if he wanted it turned, the delay turned down, and they decided to leave it the way it was. It didn't look good on the video, but at the same point in time, it's a very safe, well-built machine. It's just, it didn't look up to par with the other competitors. The machine will compete with anybody in the class. It's all an adjustment. When you see these other machines, they adjust them, and they adjust them hard to make sure that they can get as much as they can out of them. If you look at Mike Morgan's video from Outdoors with the Morgans, they adjusted his machine again to make it even faster. Andrew and the guys from Easton Made, they've made adjustments, they've made changes to the Diesel Evo, and they knew that they could go faster, so they cranked his machine up even more. So it's one of those things that as we go and as we progress, there will always be a way to do things a little bit quicker. The RCA 500 is not going to compete with the Diesel Evo, not even close. Because it's running a gasoline engine. It doesn't have the torque to push through that second stage like a diesel engine would. So diesel may be an option for them going down the road, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes, and we'll see what ends up coming of it. Anson, yes, I will have Gramp sticks with me. I will have stickers with me. I will have shirts with me, and fire starters as well. So we will have a little bit of all of our merch with us. Rusty Garage and Homestead, Mr. Mike, good evening. And the video I know has been loaded because I'm watching some of the comments come across on the Cord King blocking machine and the Enduro Blocker, and they're saying it's not as fast as Gramp. This machine's not going to be as fast as Gramp. This machine is a steady, run it all day, every day machine, and you're not going to get tired running it. So it's definitely Definitely one of those deals where I think there's a use for it. I really do. I think if you had an inclined conveyor or a conveyor to carry it to a splitter, you could take a couple of guys and you could run some pretty good size beefy wood through these things and not have to touch it by hand, and really make processing firewood easy. So I think the Enduro Blocker really has a place for sure. Yes, I have your shirt and your Echo. I have your Echo stick already. Your shirt is coming. Josh and his wife are making me some more shirts, and I'll get that out to you, and get those coming to you, Brandon. So yes, I know you do have those coming. Would the blocker be able to set up real close to a splitter, one hand feeding the other? Yeah, so I think that's the best alternative for this. So if you had the blocker with either a short conveyor or an inclined conveyor to feed right to the splitter, there's a lever that you can pull that will advance one block at a time. And you can use that to advance your blocks as you cut them right onto the splitter. So if you had one guy running the blocker, he could turn around and either run the splitter himself after he cut the block, or you could have another guy running the splitter, and just keep processing firewood. So it's definitely definitely got a purpose. Like I said, it's not as fast as a real skilled operator with a chainsaw, but it's steady, mechanical, and deliberate. Your cuts are straight, your cuts are square. It has a point and purpose for sure. I think you're going to see some of these Enduro Blockers in people's yards, because I really think that there's a really good use for it. Your back is not going to hurt at all after running this thing all day. The controls are right where they're comfortable. I think for me, I'd like the controls turned just a little bit so I can see more of in the saw what I'm looking at. But that's just me. Everybody's going to be different. So I'm going to give my feedback to Cord King when I bring it back. I'm going to let them know what I liked, what I didn't like. And there may be changes or revisions to this down the road, but I think it's a really good machine that has a real good potential for sure. American Country, late again. No such thing as late to this one, buddy. You can show up whenever you want. And Daniel Atkins says to get your email forwarded to the SOL department, send Russ an email at woodguywilly@gmail.com. So if you send me an email and I don't like the email, my SOL department is Daniel Atkins' email. So I'll forward it right to Daniel, and he'll take care of it for you from there. So we'll get it taken care of one way or the other. But like, Kevin doesn't run chainsaw, okay? So I think Kevin can run that no problem and not have to worry about it, and it's safe. Where if you put him on a chainsaw, he wouldn't feel comfortable and it wouldn't be safe. So I think there's a point and purpose for it. But like somebody just mentioned, Yadkin said, by the time you do that and you have a splitter, you're close to a processor. That's very true. But depending on what you have for wood, you may not want that wood going through a processor. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, I guess. You got to figure out what works for you. I know there are some people like me right now. I could have a processor and we could process no problem all the wood that we have. I don't necessarily want a processor right now because I don't want Gramp to feel like we're putting him out of a job. Gramp has been good to me, and I try to be good to Gramp as well. So, we're going to probably have a processor a lot sooner than later because we are getting very busy, and it would be nice. But right now, Gramp's always ahead of us. I've never been waiting for him to cut more wood so that we can split. He's always ahead of us. So until that point comes where he's not ahead of us anymore, I'm not really looking for a processor. If somebody were to say, hey, take this and try it for a month, or take this and try it for a couple of weeks, let me know what you think, we'd take one and we'd run it. But right now, Gramp's staying ahead of us. So until the 78-year-old man gets behind a little bit, which I don't think you're going to put him behind. If he knows we're catching up, he just works a little harder. It's just one of those things. Just one of those things. Brianna Gorman, good evening. I saw you pop in there. So we do things different, and I have people comment all the time. It's just... No, my log guy doesn't call Gramp first, and I think that bugs Gramp a little bit, because if he knew what was going on, he'd be here just as soon as the truck pulled in a lot of the times. But my log truck driver, he does a very good job of keeping us supplied, but sometimes when he says he'll put it in the plan, you got to call and remind him that it was in the plan. And that's okay. I think we all get busy. I think everything happens, so it's just one of those deals. Davies Logging, good evening, my friend. Squatch Firewood, how we doing, buddy? Yes, processor grade wood does cost more. It costs a lot more. Not a whole lot more in my area, though, so it's just one of those deals. It's so for printed t-shirts, depending on if you have your artwork done or not, Ken, we can get them turned around pretty quick. Josh and his wife Janice, they do a pretty good job. So as far as getting t-shirts printed, depending on what you want and how many, we can probably do pretty well. But yeah, so up here, there's only probably a $20 to $25 a cord difference between a homeowner's grade load of firewood and a processor grade load of firewood. The guys up here don't cherry pick and sort a whole lot. We use a fair amount of wood, and we're still small potatoes. They don't care about my 600 to 800 or 1,000 cord if we get to 1,000 this year that we do. It doesn't matter to them. So they don't really high grade or do anything special for us or anything like that. And you know, we just do what we got to do. And Josh Leach has got an eye like a hawk. This is a scan tool. I had a buddy with a truck that had a bad sensor, so we had to plug it in and get it checked out, and we got it figured out. He went and got a new oxygen sensor, and he's back to running fine. Some of the older GMs, if your oxygen sensor isn't reading right, it won't shift right. So we got that fixed for him, and his truck is shifting much better now, so he's happy. But yeah, OB2 scanner for sure. I know for me, I don't mind paying a little bit of extra to get good firewood. But it's to the point now where we're paying a lot even for bad firewood. So I don't know. Somebody just asked what we charge for a cord of firewood. So I'm at $325 a cord for green firewood, cut, split, and delivered right now. We buy firewood in anywhere from $120 to $175 a cord, depending on the vendor and depending on how far they're trucking it, where it's coming from, things like that. The $120 cord firewood does not happen very often. That is from one older gentleman that runs a cable skidder, and he uses me the best of anybody, but he's old. He's 70, I want to say 74, and he only cuts maybe 2 loads a week, and there's no guarantee that those 2 loads a week are both hardwood or that they're even pulp. It could be pine saw logs, could be spruce and fir, could be, you know, I could go a month without hearing from him that he's got any firewood. So and his firewood, it's firewood, it's everything. The best firewood I get, I pay about $175 a cord for it. That's processor grade stuff. And it's not always processor grade stuff. The last load I got from him, I paid $175 for. I had a lot of, pardon the French and pardon the language, I had a lot of pecker poles that were this big around, tops, you know, 3 to 4 inch tops, tiny tops. For those of you that have cut firewood for a long time, you know those little tops, when you whack them with a chain and the rakers are low, they'll come back and smack you in the shins hard enough to make you want to throw up sometimes. Especially if you got one of Gramp's saws and it's good and sharp. So I really don't like the small wood. The small wood is a pain. It's as much of a pain cutting by hand as it is with a processor. That small stuff takes so much time, and it's just it's not as nice. It's not as nice. If Dan will pay me extra for those, he can have them. Because I'll tell you right now, those little ones, when they come back and they whack you in the shin, man, does that hurt. That just stings. And it's always the little ones. The big ones are heavy enough. They don't run back, that's for sure. Yeah, vine maple. I don't know about vine maple, but I know they hurt. That pain is just, you hear that sound and you're like, oh man. And the small stuff is actually more handling, I think. So I think the small stuff, by the time you pick and handle and move it, it's just, I don't know. It's a lot of extra work. The best size firewood to do by hand with a 4-way wedge is somewhere in the 8 to 12 inch diameter. If you can be 8 to 12 inch diameter, you can run it once through the 4-way, center it good, and you're good to roll. At least for home heating wood, not for bundle wood or for restaurant wood, but for home heating wood up here. Stuff that stuff through the 4-way and you're good to go. I call that bacon and eggs, because bacon and eggs with breakfast is what pays the bills, and that's what makes the money. So that's bacon and eggs firewood right there. Get bigger than that, ugh, crazy. Well, Davey, you need to start shipping some wood to Maine. Those look like great prices. I'd take a bunch of those. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. That's what I was paying a long time ago. About 12 years ago, actually. I was paying between $900 and $1,000 a load when I first started doing firewood. And now I'm at $1,450 a load for the same load. And when the big tractor trailer comes, it's $1,920 a load. I wouldn't mind it so much if the wood was always good quality. But a lot of times they don't high grade firewood for us any more than anything else. And it doesn't work. Where we get 12 full cords or 36 face off of the tractor trailer, and it figures to $165 a full cord is what we're paying for it. And I've had this conversation with a lot of guys for a long time. Whatever you're paying for your green firewood, log length, if you're just selling it green and flipping it, it should be 2 times that to sell it. So if you're paying $150 a cord for it, you should be charging $300 a cord for it leaving the yard. If you're paying $175 a cord for it, it should be $350 a cord leaving the yard. But people aren't going to pay $350 a cord for it up here because it's a commodity. This is to heat homes. It's a commodity market. We've got loggers that buy stumpage off the stump, so they've got a lot better deal than we get. They'll sell it for $300 a cord and they're still making decent money. I've got to take a little bit of cut and profit on that and try to stay competitive. I'm at $325 and I won't go less than that. But you get to that point and it's like, how much more do you really want to give up? Because there's not a lot of money in firewood anyways. The pulp market up here is terrible. So honestly, if you've got firewood guys that are willing to take 6, 8, 10 loads a week, depending on who it is, that can really help some of these logging companies out. But it doesn't seem like they want to work and play like that. I mean, I try to be as nice and decent and help everybody if we can, but holy smokes, it's crazy. Oh, Davey's even got good firewood. He said they don't have a pulp market, so he's picky about his poles. So yeah, it's something else. I don't know. I keep going. Firewood's what I love. I find a way to make it work. If that means that I got to do fire starters or I'm doing restaurant wood to make the difference that I can still do it, it'd be okay. But right now it's just, I don't know. It's crazy. if we had, yeah, if we had paper mills running, we would be we'd be pretty good for sure. So the table height on the birch right now, as it stands, is going to be 32.5 inches. I don't know what the VS and the axis is, but the table height on the birch vertical is 32.5 inches, last I knew. That can probably be raised if we need it to be, but not lowered. So that's going to be as low as it will go, but it can probably be raised. Working space is going to be equivalent to the axis or the VS. No conveyor. This is an entry-level machine, so there's no conveyor, and there's no conveyor option for it. So it's just one of those deals where it's an entry-level splitter with some big boy features and a fairly quick cycle time. So it ought to be a really nice unit. I'm anxiously and impatiently awaiting videos from Bobby to say, hey, look at what we got. So that'll be pretty cool to see that. And for those of you that didn't hear earlier, just so that you know, Reeves Timber is also going to be a couple of, it's going to be a new dealer for Allwood. So there'll be 2 dealers for Allwood, myself and Reeves Timber now. So if you're closer to Reeves Timber down there in Virginia, they can get you an Allwood splitter and get all that stuff done. Hey, have a good night, Davey. Appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate you, my friend. And yes, Robert Daigle, you can shoot me a call after this is over. I got time. No biggie. Good night, Robert Cox. Good to see you. So unless anybody has any questions, I'm going to wrap this up because I've got a busy few days this week before we go to the show. Wednesday night, I'll do more show details and everything else. I have no black walnut for Firewood up here, American Country. We have no black walnut. I have no walnut. I have no hickory. I have no anything special. We have maple, oak, beech, yellow birch, white birch, ash. Every once in a great while, I'll get a little bit of locust and a little bit of elm. So for those of you that haven't seen Ken's cuts, he's trying to get over a little bit of a plateau for his subscribers. If you haven't gone over and checked out Ken's cuts, go over and check him out and give him a subscribe. Let him know that Russ from Willey's Firewood sent you over. We'll see if we can bump him up on his subscriber count a little bit. Anybody else that's in here that you're ever struggling, you feel like you're stuck at your subscriber count, just give me a shout and let me know. We can certainly put the word out and send some people over. It's always a good time to be able to go over and help out some extra woodhounds and get some more videos in there. So, all right, well, Craig's Quartz Coles is trying to hit 50,000 subs. Well, there you go. You took a big jump. You must have had a real good video. I'm going to have to go back and look and see what that's all about. Those masking tape stickers are paying off. I got to get a roll of tape. So we'll see you guys all Wednesday. And for those of you coming to the show, hope to see you there. We'll have all of our stuff that we can. And Daniel said that Goobs could use a boost too. So if you haven't gone and checked out Goobs' channel, go for that too and see what you can get. And then we'll go from there. All right. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you next time.